Eagles, you're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show coming up with some information about Dr. Jeannie Harrison discussing the felt need that was behind a Mississippi textbook, and Simeon Gates reporting on the recent United Campus Workers of MS meeting. But don't touch that dial because Christy Matthews with Like a Lotus Hair Salon will share some things that you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Join Southern Miss Radio on Sunday mornings from 6 a.m. till noon for Sunday Brunch. You'll get jazz and swing music from artists as wide-ranging as Bix Beiderbecke to Ed Meldau. From Dippermouth himself to Esperanza Spalding. But relax, you don't need to know anything about the music to enjoy it. It's a great way to wake up on Sunday morning. Sunday Brunch from 6 a.m. until noon on Southern Miss Radio.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. In USM Campus News, USM Recreational Therapy Program earns accreditation. Congratulations to the Recreational Therapy Program here at the University of Southern Mississippi for reaching accreditation by the Commission of Accreditation of Allied Health Education Programs. Program Coordinator Megan Marlowe goes on to say, our accreditation acknowledges a high standard for learning outcomes in our program. In addition, it expands our internship opportunities in the nation. We are proud of all the alumni and students who helped make this happen and look forward to a bright future. Some noteworthy highlights from the USM program include one of the few accredited RT programs in the country, co-sponsors of the largest regional recreational therapy conference annually, and full semester internship requirement where students get hands-on experience. We've got a special shout out to Susan Perry and Norma Williamson, two wonderful guests from DAR that took the time and effort out of their day to write us a letter. We're humbled by your words and truly appreciate having you on. Stay golden. In Hattiesburg news, William Carey's biggest soccer supporter has been revealed. William Carey's women's soccer team won their most recent match, which has landed them on a spot in a national championship quarterfinals for the 7th time in 8 years. Supporting them in their journey to nationals is none other than a four-legged friend named Charlie. Several comments have been made about the furry friend, stating, "We love Charlie. He comes everywhere with us. Charlie makes every road trip with us, every meal, every game. The only thing that Charlie's missing out on is a spot on payroll." Charlie is a support animal for senior defender Natasha Povey, where she goes on to say, "I had a rough year about 2 years ago. After that, I was like, okay, I'm here alone, all the way from England. So he's become my best friend, and everyone here loves him. Best of luck to William Carey, and let's go, Charlie." In Mississippi news, shots were fired at McDonald's on Clinton Boulevard in Jackson. Shots were fired in the parking lot of the McDonald's last evening, with the police finding roughly 24 cases on the scene. 3 vehicles were stated to be in the parking lot of the McDonald's when shots began to fire from the vehicles towards the others. As of now, no one has been reported injured, with a round found in the McDonald's establishment. Investigations are still ongoing, and the Jackson police request for anyone that has additional information to call in. In national news, Henry Kissinger, former Secretary of State, has passed away at 100. Kissinger's consulting firm announced his death, not yet giving a cause of the death. He passed away at his home in Connecticut. He was the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor under both Richard Nixon and Gerald Ford. Kissinger also received the Nobel Peace Prize for negotiating the settlement, which resulted in the end of the Vietnam War, and helped open diplomatic relations with the U.S. and China during Nixon's administration. In other news, we have an announcement. In case anyone does not know, today is our final show for the semester here at Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio, as well as it being my last show. I am both incredibly lucky and saddened to say that I'm graduating so I'll not be coming back on as your usual host. I would like to thank everyone listening in and for our many guests that have stepped onto the show to provide their voice. I would also like to extend a heavy thanks to Alina Pitletsky for running the live stream for the show, as well as Matthew Lee for being our audio engineer. The two of you work tirelessly during these shows, and it always looks and sounds perfect. Thank you to my producer, Huey Turlich, for always being on top of everything and being an absolute joy to work with. And thank you so much to Shania Williams, Whitney Howard, and Dr. Wilbur Martin for giving me this opportunity. You have given me an avenue to truly pursue what I love to do. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for a great semester. Stay golden. We'll be right back with sports and weather after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Hey America, we need to have a little talk. We've got a lot of food in this country, so how are 17 million kids in America struggling with hunger? That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and gets it to hungry kids who need it. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
To help solve hunger in Mississippi, contact Mississippi Food Network or visit feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now on for your sports. We've got some announcements. Last week, Golden Eagles from around the country stepped up in a big way on our Day of Giving. We far surpassed our fundraising goal on that day and could not be more grateful for the overwhelming support from our friends and fans. Thank you to everyone who participated in this special day and to those whose continuous commitment paves the way for our student athletes. You will continue to be our anchor as we press forward to new heights and build on our storied traditions. Come out to support the 5-0 Lady Eagles as they play number 19 Ole Miss in Reed Green at 2 p.m. Saturday, December 2nd. Make sure to wear white. Tickets are still available to purchase at only $6. To keep up with all the Golden Eagles sports activities, head on over to southernmiss.com. Now on for your weather. I hope you had some time to defrost because this morning started off pretty cold at 45 degrees. However, it looks like we might be in for a bit of a break with our highs in the lower 60s and the lows in the mid 50s. Make sure you grab those umbrellas because it looks like the rain's back on the menu tonight. That rain looks like it'll continue through the weekend, with it maybe clearing up by Sunday or Monday. We're not entirely sure. Friday and Saturday will be on the bit of a warmer side with the highs in the 70s and the lows in the 60s. And Sunday might be a bit rough because our highs are in the upper 60s and our lows are in the high 40s. Hopefully our Golden Eagles will make it through not just their finals, but our weather as well. Up next, we have Dr. Jeannie Hairston discussing the felt need that was behind a textbook written about Mississippi history. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. In 1969, two professors from Millsaps and Tougaloo decided to write a Mississippi history textbook with the help of their graduate students. Dr. Jeannie Hairston discusses the felt need that drove the project.
When I came to Millsaps, I ended up taking Dr. Salas's History in the Relation to the South course. We were discussing some of the myths and lies and stereotypes about Mississippi history. And we just began to realize, students and faculty, that there is such an ignorance about Mississippi's history among our youth. And the next thing we know, a group of students were assembled to help write this book.
To hear more, visit MississippiMoments.org or just like us on Facebook. Mississippi Moments is supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. The humanities are for everyone.
That was Dr. Jeannie Hairston. Coming up, we've got a special guest that you don't want to miss.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Christy Matthews with the Lotus Hair Salon. Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty all right. So, first and foremost, for anyone who doesn't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Chrissy Matthews. I am a mother of 3.
Wow.
I own Like a Lotus Hair Rehab here in Hattiesburg, right off 49. I've been a cosmetologist now for a little over 11 years, and I've been a certified hair loss practitioner for the last 4.
Wow. Well, that's absolutely amazing, and congratulations on your children.
Thank you.
And is there anything that you can tell us about your children, like their age ranges or anything that you're comfortable with sharing, like fun memories or anything?
Of course. I have 3 boys.
Okay.
I'm a boy mom. My oldest is 16.
Wow.
My middle is 10, and my youngest is 4. All 6 years apart.
Well, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But we do have what you mentioned before, Like a Lotus Hair Rehab. And I've already been reading some stuff about it, but can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I actually branched off as a freelancer for a while.
Yeah.
And I opened Like a Lotus Hair Rehab more for the privacy for some of my scalp care and hair loss clients.
Right.
Like a Lotus Hair Rehab is a full service salon. We do regular services as well,
Yeah.
but I specialize in scalp disorders and hair loss.
Right.
That's like my main focal point.
Okay. And from what I've been understanding and what I've been looking at, you've been doing something that's absolutely beautiful and spectacular, and you've been donating and helping cancer patients after chemo.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
Yes, I actually, it kind of birthed from Like a Lotus Hair Rehab.
Right.
And it also birthed from an experience of dealing with a lot of cancer throughout my family.
Right.
Unfortunately, I lost my mom to cancer.
Right.
And she was the type of person that she wore wigs, and
Right.
she was full of fun and a lot of life. So as time passed, I got into just kind of transforming wigs,
Right.
and I went through a certification to learn to make them. And I realized very fast that that was not my calling, making them, because I'm not a perfectionist, but I take a lot of time, more time than I need
Absolutely.
to. So as time passed, I was, dealing with a lot of things, and a lady came in from the cancer center who was going through chemo.
Yeah.
She asked me if I could help her with her wig, learn how to put it on.
Yeah.
She didn't know what to do with it. She really didn't. She wasn't too happy with it. So I told her we can transform it. She could come back, and I would show her everything she needed to know.
Yeah.
So she showed me exactly what she desired, the color and the cut.
Yeah.
She left it. She came back, picked it up, and when she came back to pay for it,
Yeah.
I could not charge her. I felt like, she was dealing with something that I could not help her with,
Yeah.
and the least I could do is help her with her hair journey.
Yeah.
I couldn't take away the pain, I couldn't take away the cancer,
Yeah.
but I could lift a little bit of a burden by helping her in this area.
Right. That's
And
I
that
mean-
that actually is how Hair of Hope was derived.
right.
Hmm.
Well, before we go into more information about Hair of Hope,
Hmm.
I just want to say thank you for the work that you do, because cancer is a very devastating thing.
It is.
And it's something that I'm incredibly sorry for, the amount of weight and the amount of loss that you've had to go through, and this pivoting point of you being able to be inspired by these moments and looking over and going, you're already going through enough.
Right.
You're already going through loss. You're already going through fear. You're already going through everything.
Right.
You shouldn't have to worry about this too.
Exactly.
And that's absolutely beautiful. But
Thank you.
of course, with the Hair for Hope, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, we actually, like I said, the Cancer Center sometimes supply free units
Yeah.
for clients.
Yeah.
And they'll bring them to me, and if they like them enough, I will transform them. I will change the color if
Right.
need be. I'll cut it to the style that they desire.
Right.
And sometimes that's not always the case.
Right.
Of course, cancer attacks anyone. It doesn't matter your race, your age,
Absolutely.
so I try my best to supply more natural looking units for all ages, all races. So it kind of gives a little bit more flexibility.
Right.
So it's getting to the point where our funding goes more towards supplying the units than supplying the supplies to transform them. And that's been, it's been really good, and it has been beneficial for a lot of the clients.
Right. And how long have you been helping cancer patients?
I started it in 2001.
Wow.
That's when I started. That's
Yeah.
not when I started the foundation. I
Right.
was just actually, after the first lady, anyone who was sent to me from the cancer center, I was just doing their services for free.
Right.
And then I called my aunt and I was like, I think we can start this into a nonprofit because this is needed a lot more than I thought.
Right. And for any of our interested listeners tuning in and that are listening to our conversation, is there any way that we can help Like a Lotus Hair Salon or help you during this process, either with donations or some sort of volunteer work or shout out?
Well, we try our best to have 2 fundraisers a year.
Okay.
In April, we had a very nice brunch, and it actually was held at the Alumni Building here on USM
Wow.
campus. Yes, it turned out very nice. So next year, we plan in April again to have a very nice event. It's in the making of being planned, but people definitely can go donate. You can go to our website, which is mshairofhope.org.
That's absolutely amazing. And it's already amazing to have something as beautiful and something as influential as this here on this grounds of USM. But I can't imagine being able to look in these eyes of all these wonderful people and looking over and giving them this opportunity. So before we go into any other questions about like promoting this message forward, do you have a favorite memory of whenever you gifted this person this opportunity to be able
my
to look the way
goodness.
they want?
Yes, I have so many. One thing that stick out to me the most is, and I'll say a general memory.
Yeah.
I often realize that a lot of the clients that come in with losing hair from chemo and even scarring alopecia, because with scarring alopecia, your hair does not return.
Yeah.
So we also focus on people that are dealing with scarring alopecia. But one of the memories that stick out to me the most of the clients, when they come in, they are not as confident.
Yeah.
And when we finish, one thing that sticks out often, a lot of the women tell me that being in my chair, they felt safe. And I thought that was a word that was almost, at first it was weird because I was like, safe, I'm not supplying any kind of safety. I was looking more at the out appearance of things. But when you lose your hair and you lose confidence, your mental state changes. You don't know what people think. You don't know what to think.
Yeah.
So giving the feeling of safety from just being supplied, not having to look like what you're going through, definitely gives me a wonderful memory of some of the words that most of the women tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It really goes into the sentiment of like empowerment and also identity.
Yes.
By being able to really repeat that mantra, I'm not this disorder, I'm not this
That's right.
disability or disease, I'm me, and I'm
Yes.
so much. And that's absolutely amazing. And I know I keep like thanking you and I keep saying all these things, but you're truly doing a wonderful thing that
Thank you.
so many people, especially in the South, can look over and whether they hear the diagnosis from their doctors or they hear the diagnosis from a family member, it crumbles them.
Yes.
And that amount of deflation that comes is just, it reverberates so often. And having something like a Lotus Hair Rehab, being able to go, we know it's terrible. We know it hurts. We know that it's so much weight on your shoulders.
Right.
But maybe there's one thing that we can do that can keep your head up.
Right.
And just tackling the entire mantra of just one more day. And that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if there's one thing that you would say to our listeners right now, either about Like a Lotus Hair Rehab or some sort of message that you want them to carry from this conversation, what would you say?
I think I would say, from the depth of Like a Lotus Hair Rehab and my nonprofit Hair of Hope,
Yeah.
I would say, healing, I think, starts with 25% of your mindset. So always remember to be positive, allow positive people around you, and absorb positive things, because healing starts within for sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Christy Matthews, for coming on today and providing a voice for our Eagles.
Of course.
Make sure you give support to Like a Lotus Hair Rehab and also Mississippi Hair of Hope. You can, you can go and you can be really excited, and please, please, please engage if you have time with the fundraiser that'll probably happen in April, and you can check out mshhairofhope.com for more information. Thank you so much for coming on today.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Coming up, we've got Simeon Gates reporting on the recent United Campus Workers of MS meeting. Check it out.
The USM branch of UCW-MS held an open meeting on Monday, October 30th, to raise awareness about the union and its new petition. The petition calls on University President Dr. Joe Paul and Provost Dr. Lance Nail to support a pay raise for all university employees. They want to raise salaries to $25 an hour, stipends for graduate students to at least $35,000, and add an annual inflation increase of 3%. Workers in Mississippi can form and join unions, but their powers are limited. According to Dr. Mike Forster, one of the union's leaders, USM's UCW cannot do collective bargaining or striking. Their goal is to start a conversation with the administration. The goal of Monday's meeting was to raise awareness and gather signatures. Forster further explained the union's cause.
You have to listen to your employees. You have to respond to their concerns if you want any kind of a decent workplace for everybody. If we're going to fulfill our mission as a university to work effectively with students, to carry out research and all the good stuff we do, work with the community, we have to have a good working environment.
Thank you, Simeon, and thank you for listening to the last episode of this semester for Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to our audio engineer for this show, Matthew Lee, and Alina Pitletsky, our video producer, for keeping this bird flying. Big shout out to our assistant producer, Huey Turledge, as well as executive producer, Miss Whitney Howard, our program director, Shania Williams, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin. I've been your Tuesday, Thursday show host, Skylar Angus Parker. Stay golden, Eagles!